Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's me anarghya and today's video is going to be about Camila Cabello and Shawn Mendes because what the hell is going on between them? I have no idea. I just heard some rumors around that they have allegedly broken up again. Like, what is going on? The first thought that came to my mind when I saw that was like, I need to make a video about this because yeah, it has been going around for some while that they have allegedly broken up, and I was completely shook after listening to that, and I was like, how is that even possible? Like, they seemed pretty fine a few months back. So we'll find out what's going on between them. Grab your cup of tea because I'll be pulling out my tarot in a bit. And before we start, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon while you're doing so, because you subscribing to my channel won't cost you anything, but it would mean the world to me because I put in a lot of effort in these videos. So please make sure to appreciate. Let's get started. Okay, so I have pulled out the cards over here, so let's get started. There's obviously a lot of stuff going on between them because there's, a lot of back and forth energy that I'm watching right now. They got back together, but let's first of all talk about the situation, what happened exactly when they got back together. It was nice, it was pretty like soulmate type of thingy going on between them, but that was like short lived because there were these sort of trauma, sort of conflicts from the past, their past relationship, them both being in that relationship and getting back together. That didn't seem quite good of an idea to them after a few weeks, maybe, I don't know. But initially it felt nice, it felt like it was meant to be. Their situation was, this is how they were supposed to turn out, because they were supposed to heal from the traumas that they weren't helped. At first it felt like fate, like it was guided for them to like go away and then find their way back to each other or something like that. But that was very short lived, because what I'm seeing over here is that them getting back together. I remember doing a reading about them, and I just did it when they had just gotten back together, and their stuff was they actually had these cards coming out for them. Like, I remember it so brightly, and you can check that video out, like, if you want to, because I pretty much remember the lovers and sun and these sort of happy energies coming out for them, and that is what it was like in the first few days or weeks maybe. But what happened was that sort of feeling where you're new in that relationship and everything's just so good, when you're talking to someone and you're talking to them after a long time of no contact, and it just feels all so dreamy once again, and you're like, oh my god, why did I stop talking to them in the first place? And then you wait a few days and you figure out, okay, that's why. Because that sort of that excitement that you had, that sort of that energy that you both had, it kind of starts to fade away, and boredom starts to take place in that boredom. That sort of hot and cold energy we're talking about is what happens when that boredom comes in. There's two types of those boredoms. It's first of all when you aren't healed enough to be in a relationship that is so healthy, and the second comes in when there's a hot and cold energy, and this is the latter one I'm talking about. So yeah, and that thing also combines with the fact that they had already been together in the past, so it wasn't something new for them. There wasn't much to hold on to. If things were not working out, they knew why they weren't working out. Like, when you're new with someone, you have to give it a few shots, you have to work upon things that you aren't agreeing on. But when you already know someone so well, that stuff doesn't happen, and that's what happened after a few, like, I would say like a week, or like after a few weeks maybe of the relationship. And it felt like there was so much hard work that was being put on, but there was nothing coming out of that hard work. Like, it was sort of like a failed attempt at putting in the hard work. Like, it seemed like there was no work being put upon, but only the ones who were putting in the work knew how much was being put upon, and it was just that there wasn't any sort of result coming out, and that resulted in the lack of passion that we talked about, that interest, that lack of interest. And there's obviously some blockages in the throat chakra, if you can't tell it from my voice already. And now basically overall energy, what I'm watching from the reading is that it sort of is you know I would say like a burden. And the pressure we talk about when you're getting back with your ex is what happened over here, and it intensified because obviously they're celebrities and it was a huge deal. They had a lot of fans on their side, you know, a lot of people who were heartbroken over the relationship and who had just come back to life listening that, oh my god, Shawn and Camila are back together. But that's why, you know, it was maybe the performance pressure was too high for them, and that like worsened up the things, and they couldn't really like see clearly. But you know, it felt like, you know, once they got back together and things had settled in, it felt like delusion, you know, like having that sort of feeling that they had in the beginning phase, that honeymoon phase. It felt like delusion after some time, and it was really strong of them to like even give this a shot, and like realizing things after this, and then, you know, taking decisions that they had to in order for their like own benefit. Because obviously there's a lot of love and care we're talking about over here that doesn't go away. I never said that, you know, that there's no feelings or stuff we're talking about here, because there is, and there is like deep feelings we're talking about here. This card just doesn't show up in any reading, you know, it's rare. So yeah, but the thing is, you know, you have to be able to let go if you really like love someone, and that is what is going on here. You know, it sort of like feels like a loss right now is what I'm seeing. And we're talking about a lot of rest, we're talking about taking some time off. You know, we have Four of Swords and the Four of Swords in reverse at the back of the deck. So basically what we're talking about is, you know, like even after things got worse, they maybe try to work it out, and that's why, you know, their relationship was pretty low key. You know, you didn't see them out as much as you used to before, because this time, you know, they really weren't sure themselves about what they have to do, so they just tried to keep it on the low for their own benefit. And what happened was that, you know, they ended up taking a lot of like breaks, I guess. I mean, not exactly like breaks as in breakups, but what I'm talking about is, you know, like they couldn't really spend a lot of time together, because, you know, loving someone and living with someone are two different things. I keep saying it because it is a fact, you know, and that is what was happening with them. And until like a few, I don't know, like until more afterwards, what happened is, you know, that they really realized that there was nothing happening out of the situation. Like whatever their judgment was, you know, whatever they thought was going to happen, they were wrong about it. Like whatever they thought in the honeymoon phase of the relationship about them getting back together to each other, that was not the correct judgment that they could have made, and it's not really right of them to do so. You know, they felt a sort of like, or they this is most probably the present energy too, so they might be still feeling a sort of like instability within themselves and with each other. For matter of fact, you know, there's just no balance in between the relationship. You know, like one person's playing the role of a much higher authority, and one person's like not able to like match that energy, because they, not that the other person's on a low vibration. Now, you know, the exact breakup term didn't come out, but you know, like when a situation gets so bad, you eventually have to let it go, because we're talking about letting go and we're talking about taking breaks, but there's no such thing as a complete cutoff that I'm watching. You know, there are cards for complete cutoffs or letting go completely of someone. I'm not really watching that, but you know, there are cards of letting go, so we're going to take that into consideration. And the thing is, you know, that the whole relationship kind of seemed like it was, you know, like sort of feeling like, you know, someone's trying to pin you down when you just want to fly, the kind of vibe that I'm getting. And they both started to like kind of suffocate each other in a way, because they were really hoping for this to work out, like both of them, but things don't pretty much seem the way they should be. And again, I'm not really watching exact breakup over here, but you know, it's more of like a dead end, and only a miracle can change things now. And moreover, you know, it's just like really sad to see this, because they were kind of like my favorite celebrity couple, to be honest. Like, I didn't know much about their relationship, but I just really liked them together. Like, they were a really cute couple, and I'm pretty sure the people who are die-hard fans must be killing them right now. And obviously, you know, like Camila and Shawn most, for the matter of fact. But you know, sometimes just this is the way things are meant to be, and you can't do anything about it, and it's sad. But I guess, yeah, that's what I have for you today, and I hope you liked this video. If you did, please make sure to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. And until I see you next time, bye bye and take care.